So if you clicked on this video because you want to learn how to do the Flambient method, but you've been so confused on every other tutorial out there, yeah, I was there too. But guess what? I have discovered the most simplest way to shoot literally any room, any scenario using the Flambient method, and more specifically, using only one flash. So let's get into Lightroom right now. I'm going to show you how simple this is. Let's go. So check this out. This is our ambient layer. I've already done my initial bump on these. Create a preset. It looks like that. Actually, that isn't the original bump. It is an interior bump Lewa. Make sure you get the right lens correction on there. So I've already done this. I'm going to flag this with a 1 so we can walk through this. Now, this shot was, I just did a flash pop above the camera to light the scene above the camera. Now remember, we're in your head. You got to think, okay, I got to light, what parts of what image do I need to light? First off, we need to light above the camera, always, no matter what it is. Sometimes that's going to be enough. Most times in your bathrooms, in your bedrooms, just getting your ambient shot and doing a flash pop above the camera, getting it as close to the ceiling as possible, especially if there's a ceiling fan, that's going to eliminate shadows. The softer that light is getting kicked back into the room is going to soften those shadows. It's going to be easier to blend with your ambient layer, and then you move on. So this type of shooting, again, it's not going to be for every single shot in your listing lineup. So just remember that. But even still, this type of shooting now, if you want to go this route, is going to make your life so much simpler. All right, so let's move on. I did another test fire because I thought, we want a little bit more power. So that's this shot, okay? So I'm going to flag that as a 1 just so I know not to bring in this other darker exposure that we won't need. Let's move on. Now I lit over here just because I wanted to be able to blend that easier with my shot that I did above the camera. So we're going to flag this one. This shot, now here we go. I wanted to be able to light this stairwell, but there was nowhere for me to go. So I had to do a composite. I had to do a shot here. We're going to flag that one, and then I had to move over to this side of the stairwell and shoot this just so I can mask myself out. And again, I'll show you how simple that is to do. We're going to flag this one. Now, what is this shot? Okay, so I went up the stairs and I lit the staircase. So a lot of times the stairwell is going to be dark. The ambient light isn't going to be, there's not going to be enough available ambient light to light a stairwell. So you're always going to have to run up the stairs and do a flash pop on the ceiling to let that light fall and light the stairwell. So we'll flag that one. And of course, we're going to run into the dining room over here and do a flash pop to light this room. So we're going to flag that one. So now all I got to do is hold down Command and click on each one of these and bring them in to Photoshop. Once they're all selected, right click, edit in, open as layers in Photoshop. All right, so once all your layers have been loaded into Photoshop, this is the process that you need to do for situations like this where you're running around doing multiple flash pops. Now remember, this is all you need to do. We're not doing architectural photography where we have to fine tune every single aspect of the image. If you're doing that and you're watching tutorials on guys that are just being super picky about every little aspect of the image, and they're doing correcting layers, and they're doing all these other things, and they're doing HDR blending for just their ambient layer, don't bother wasting your time. If you are doing that, you better be charging a ton of money, and you better be doing $10 million plus listings and making thousands of dollars per shoot. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and you're not getting paid enough for your work. So with that being said, let's get back into Photoshop here. All right, so the first image that's going to be on top that I suggest just shooting they're going to come into Photoshop in the order that you shot them. So ambient layer is always going to be sitting on top. Take that eyeball right here to the left of that image and shut it off. We don't need it right now. And we're going to shut off this one. Keep working down your images until you get to where you have your composites, okay? So it is these two. This one is 55 and 56. These are the composites. So we're going to highlight this first one. We're going to come down here and do a layer mask, Command I to invert. Now we come over here and do our gradient tool, and we're just going to click somewhere in the image and drag it over before we get to where we were standing on the other image. And you can do this several times just to see how well it blends. This was an easy blend. So now we have ourselves blended out of there. Now what we want to do is we want to merge these into one image so we can then go through and transform and blend these all really quick. You ready? We're going to hold down Command and click on this so both these are highlighted. We're going to right click, come down here to merge layers, and it's only going to merge the two that were selected. So now this is our merge layer. Now check this out. Now let's go back through and turn them all back on, except for our ambient layer. This is our ambient layer. Leave that off. Click the top one, the top flash layer. Come down to the bottom. Hold down Shift. Click it. They're all selected. Come up here to normal, and we're going to choose lighten mode. And you're done. Almost. Isn't that amazing? So if we unclick this and we're just going to start toggling through, you're going to see there is this one that we shot lighting up this side of the room here. What's this one? Oh, no. Yeah, keep that off. This one is our stairwell. This is our blend shot. And then this is the stairwell. This is the top of the stairs here. And then, of course, this last one is our dining room shot. And we can actually see that if we just move it up here. Toggle that one on and off. This is what it looked like. And so you can see that that actually lit up this this under the stairwell spot. So it doesn't matter what order they're in. It's just making sure that you're highlighting them all and just turning them all into lighten mode. And it's gonna just blend them all together, because what lighten mode does is just takes the brightest scene from that image and then disregard everything else, in a sense. Okay, so that's why you don't really want to run that I had before, is running with a flash on top of the camera, because it just wouldn't work as well. So all you really need is one flash. It's going to make it seamless to blend those. So now what we need to do is come up to the top, turn our ambient layer on, and I am going to do just a layer mask, Command I to invert, make sure my brush tool is selected, white is selected, and I have some ceiling fan shadows here. I'm just going to brush that ambient layer, some of that ambient. We got some reflections on some of these paintings or these pictures on the wall. We got a hot spot here on the wall. We're going to brush that out. We're going to brush ourselves out of the TV over here, getting rid of that, getting rid of, bringing in some more natural light, maybe more natural light on the floor here and on the ceiling up here. And again, there was a lot of natural light coming in, so we can just kind of paint more of that natural light back in, and it's going to look amazing. So there you go. All we got to do now is flatten, Command S to save it. It's going to bring it right back into Lightroom. Do your final bump. Make sure you do a preset for that. It'll make your workflow go faster. And there you go. So leave me a comment if you have any questions about any of this. Remember, I'm here to help you grow your real estate photography business by being fast and effective, both on site and in the editing room. So click that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.